Hey YouTube, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. And today is going to be like a really easy video. I'm going to be showing you how to make beans. I love making beans. This is for the week. It's Friday right now, so I just finished my other beans. I made Peruvian beans about 4 days ago, but I need to make more beans. Today I'm going to make pinto beans. Last time I made Peruvian beans, so I'm going to change it up a little bit. I am going to make two types of beans when I make these beans, but first I'm going to show you how to cook them. They will take some time, so I'm up early and I have to start getting them on the stove. So let's get started. I'm going to flip the cam to show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so here is my beans. And as we get closer, you can see that there is some fresh water. I put that bay leaf that I was using, but you can use a fresh bay leaf. I don't really care. And I am going to let this simmer strongly for about 3 hours. So it's been about an hour and it's time to check our beans. So let's check our beans. So what I want to do is stir it to make sure that nothing's stuck in the bottom. And I want to bring out a nice load and just inspect it. And just by seeing it, I can tell whether it needs more time or not. I don't really need to taste it or anything. I could just look at the starch. The starch granules are they look still solid. They need to look velvety and almost like a mashed potato inside of there. So this is going to need another hour, maybe another hour and a half. Still has not softened at all. So just keep going. It usually takes all morning. Okay, so our beans have been going for another hour, and the water has reduced a lot, and I think that the beans are getting softer now. You can actually eat them and they look soft. They change in colors. Beautiful. So now that they're soft, I'm going to add more flavor to it. Something to give this beans more definition and more flavor and more taste. So I'm going to use an onion, half an onion, some of these cilantro stems. I'll show you how I'm going to cut them right now, and the rest of the serrano from my cheesy sauce. This one's already cooked, so I'm just going to add that in there inside. It will give more flavor and more spice. So let's show you how I want to cut my onion. So very simple, just cut a little tip. And believe me, you don't need to use one whole onion for one meal unless you want to. But if you want to save your vegetables, you want to maximize their usage, use them for multiple recipes. Like this recipe, this onion, I usually use it for 2 recipes. And then sometimes I'll use it for 3 recipes. I used to use it for 1 recipe, but when I taste the ingredients, they were very strong when it came down to the onion flavor. So I'm like, oh no, the onion needs to be in smaller portion. So 1 whole onion can feed 3 meals, can make 3 meals. Okay. So for the cilantro, these are stems. I don't like to throw them away, so I like to put them in my salsas or like my soups. So I'm going to cut them very small so they almost marry inside of the soup, and that's pretty much it. Just use up your stems and leftover onions for your amazing bean soups or regular soups like vegetable soups. Pour these beautiful ingredients into my beans. Wow, I can already smell how delicious this is. This smells so good. Wow. And that's pretty much what I'm going to add. I am going to add some dried oregano right now. I love dried oregano because it gives it that stocky flavor. I really like the oregano flavor. It reminds me of my mother's cooking. I love that my mother dedicated her whole life, or most of her life, to feed me and my family and my brothers and sisters and stuff like that. So I am very appreciative, and the best thing that I could do is just relive her memories through my actions. So every day when I make beans or when I make food, or I myself become a housewife or a home cooker, because I'm not a wife at all. I don't have kids, I'm not married, but I do like the idea of being a woman that likes to be a gatherer, that loves her craft of gathering ingredients and making them into amazing, delicious meals. So that's what I love to do, and I like to invite other women to do it as well, and to encourage their daughters to do it as well, and cousins and family that is women, to bring them back to their original safe space. Remember, ladies, we are gatherers. We're not hunters. We were the gatherers in the past. We gathered fruits, vegetables, legumes, grains, and we figured out ways to make food. So, for some reason, we have forgotten that. It's been so many years, of course. You have to go through the history. But once you remember, through reading history and talking to older people, you'll remember that you were the gatherer. You'll remember that you used to make the beans. You used to make the rice, especially if you're coming from a Hispanic background and Asian backgrounds. Like, we used to be the cookers. Like, we cooked a lot. We cooked every day. And that's how it was. That's how things are. And restaurants compete with us. And it's fine, because women now don't want to be in the house. They think it's lame. Well, I'm telling you right here, I'm here to tell you here that being in the kitchen is not lame. It is an amazing skill that we abandon sometimes, and we don't see that we are just really good at certain gifts that God gave us. So, just a friendly reminder to tell you, don't forget to cook. And if you think that cooking is lame, change that mindset. You have a fixed mentality. You need to change it to a growth mentality. Figure out ways to grow with your mentality. If you have a mentality that does not help you grow, and it doesn't help you become a better person, then you're in a fixed mentality, baby. And you've got to change that. You've got to change that fixed mentality to a growth mindset. And you will open up your brain to open up new neural pathways, so you can come up with ideas, and so you can remember where you came from, most importantly. Alright, so I'm going to let this cook for another 30 minutes, maybe 40. Okay, so our beans are completely ready. They are soft and ready to go. So I'm just going to add the last thing, and that's a half a teaspoon of salt. Iodine salt, of course. Maybe I want to add 2 half a teaspoons. And that's pretty much it. I'm just going to store it now. But of course, it's stirred. I can get closer because it smells so good. Beautiful. So I'm going to store them. I'm going to put the liquids in different containers, and I'm going to keep some of the beans to make our chili. And I'll show you how to make the chili in just a moment. So we are going to need a tomato. a squash, a bell pepper, red onion or any type of onion, and mini peppers. We will also be needing tomatoes, and I'm going to blitz these up into a nice tomato sauce. If you don't have cherry tomatoes or tomatoes, just use tomato sauce. We may use both. Alright, let's get started. First thing we need to do is mise en place. So we are going to cut our ingredients and mise out our ingredients so they're ready to go. So I actually got these cherry tomatoes donated to me from a family member. Thank her, she's so amazing. And I need to use them up, so that's why I got the idea of making a chili with it and putting them in the blender and making some tomato based sauce. So that's what I like to do sometimes when I want to spice up my soups, spice up my beans. I'll just blitz up tomatoes with maybe an onion or a garlic, and I'll add that to the liquid, which is what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to wash these and blend them up, and then I'll meet you back and I'll show you the end result. And then I can't use all of this, so I'm just going to separate the ones that are going to go bad and use those up first. So I'll meet you back. Okay, so really quickly I went to get some herbs. We are going to add this inside of here, like so. And we close it and blend. And then I also have leftover seeds from my tomatoes, and I'm going to blend that up as well and use it. So meet you back at the stove with everything ready. So now the next thing, the seeds, the tomato seeds, and my tomato sauce in here. That's it. And I'm just going to open this and pour it on here. I'm going to add the water that I'm going to use for the beans, and I'm just going to clean my blender this way. Okay, so let's get started. I have everything together. Everything is mised out. Vegetables are all cut. And then I have the cherry tomatoes and the tomato seed mixture. I have some TVP for that meaty consistency. And then I also have some extra water just in case I need it, which I will use as well. We're literally just going to add all the ingredients into this pot where I reserved some beans. So let's add everything in. Literally just everything in. Okay, so I'm going to pour this in and I'll come and talk to you again. Alright, so the vegetables are in. As you can see, the vegetables are in. We're going to add a few more ingredients. We are going to add some TVP, half a cup. We're going to add some thyme. It's time to go. And then we're going to add some Italian seasoning to make it taste more divine. And some black pepper. A half a teaspoon of iodine salt. And then the last thing we wanted to do is add the tomatoes, those chunky tomatoes that we were talking about. This is a great idea for any of your recipes. They will make your recipes outstandingly delicious. I always use this technique to make my recipes more flavorful, more tasty. But to be quite honest, I did it in the beginning to add more nutrients and more vitamins and minerals and fiber to the meal. And then I've discovered after that it made it taste so delicious that I was completely shocked. So I literally do it like this all the time now. As you can see, our chili is going to cook down and come together in a few minutes after it's boiled. I'm going to boil this and reduce it in size, reduce the volume of the liquid by simmering it, and I'm actually going to simmer it, not boil it. I'm going to simmer it and allow the vegetables to cook really well, and cook the beans a lot more. Allow the TVP to be cooked as well. We're going to marry these ingredients together, and we'll meet you back once it's ready to show you the end product. So yummy. If you could smell this right now, you would faint of how delicious it smells. It's so aromatic and fresh. Okay, so we're gonna add a few more things because this is a chili and we want it to be spicy and chili-like. Okay, so I have paprika, we have cumin, we have cayenne pepper, because we want this nice spice to it. We have chili powder, ancho chili. I'm gonna add a touch of cinnamon. Alrighty, so the chili is ready. I actually stored it already, and I'm going to use this for later on in my lunch. So I'm not going to serve it up. But I can show you some ideas. You could eat it with saltines. Or with whatever you want. Saltines are good. This is a really good way to feed yourself something meaty when you're looking for it, but you also give yourself something healthy because it has a lot of vegetables in it. It has squash, all those bell peppers, so it's really healthy and it's really good. And it's got that TVP, so you can feel that meatiness. So good. A really healthy chili. Alrighty, friends. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. All that good stuff. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.